Okay, so you think of Japan, you probably picture sleek sports cars, incredible engineering, maybe even a drift race or two, right? You'd think everyone there's obsessed with owning the latest Toyota or Honda. But here's the kicker: Japan's car market is nothing like you imagine. Seriously, it's a completely different beast, and once you hear why, you'll never look at their roads the same way. Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into a car culture that actively discourages ownership, favors tiny vehicles, and has a wild approach to EVs. This is going to flip everything you thought you knew on its head. First shocker: people in Japan, especially in big cities, just aren't buying cars like they used to. Car ownership has been on a steady decline for years. Imagine living in a major global city where over 60% of households don't even own a car. That was Tokyo in 2021. We're talking about a country famous for its car manufacturers, yet its own citizens are opting out. It's wild, right? It really makes you wonder what's going on that would push people away from what's considered a staple in so many other developed nations. This isn't just a trend, it's a cultural shift. So, if they're not driving, how do they get around? Easy: Japan's public transportation system is, hands down, one of the best in the world. It's legendary for a reason. We're talking about trains and buses that are unbelievably efficient, clean, punctual to the second, and cover almost every corner of the country. For most people, especially in urban areas, it's not just faster and cheaper than driving, it's also way less stressful. Why deal with traffic and parking when a bullet train can zip you across the city, or country, with zero fuss? It's just too good to pass up. But it's not just about convenience. Owning a car in Japan is seriously expensive. And I'm not just talking about the initial purchase price, which can be hefty. Oh no, that's just the start. You've got a whole stack of mandatory costs that really add up. Think about it: biennial inspections, insane parking fees especially in cities, road taxes based on engine size, and mandatory liability insurance. It's like a subscription service that gets more expensive the longer you own it. This isn't just a minor inconvenience, these costs are designed to make you think twice about keeping your car. Let's talk about the Sheikan system, because this is a massive piece of the puzzle. Sheikan is Japan's mandatory biennial vehicle inspection. It's super thorough, ensuring every car on the road is safe and up to snuff. Sounds good, right? Well, it gets more expensive as your car ages. This system effectively incentivizes people to buy newer cars and shortens the practical lifespan of vehicles. So, that sweet ride you just bought? 2 years later, you're looking at a bill that could make you want to just sell it and start fresh. It's a genius, albeit expensive, way to keep their car fleet modern. And then there's parking. Oh, the parking! In many urban areas of Japan, you actually can't even register a car without proving you have a designated parking space. This is called a Shako Shomeisho, or parking space certificate. Imagine trying to buy a car, but first you need to secure a private parking spot that could cost hundreds of dollars a month, or be incredibly hard to find. This isn't just a minor hurdle, it's a huge barrier to entry for car ownership in dense cities. It's brilliant for urban planning, but a nightmare for anyone who wants to just casually own a car. Given all these challenges, what cars are people buying? Well, meet the undisputed champions of Japan's roads, K-cars, or K-cars. These things are everywhere. They're those adorable, incredibly small vehicles you see zipping around. They have strict limits: max 660 cubic centimeters engine, 3.4 meters long, 1.48 meters wide. Think tiny, boxy, and unbelievably practical. And they're not just cute, they come with some serious perks that make them a no-brainer for many Japanese drivers. Seriously, if you're not driving a K-car in Japan, you're missing out on some huge advantages. So why are these pint-sized powerhouses so popular? Because they come with a whole suite of benefits designed to make car ownership less painful. Lower road taxes? Check. Easier Sheikan costs? Yep. And sometimes, they even have slightly relaxed parking requirements. Plus, their tiny footprint means they're perfect for navigating Japan's narrow streets and squeezing into tight parking spots. They're basically purpose-built for the Japanese urban environment. It's no wonder they make up about 40% of all new car sales. That's almost half. They're not just a niche, they're mainstream. Now, for another head-scratcher. Globally, everyone's going electric, right? But in Japan, EV adoption is surprisingly slow. We're talking only around 2% of new cars sold are EVs. That's practically nothing compared to other developed nations. Why? Well, part of it is limited charging infrastructure outside major cities. But there's also a deep-seated preference for something else, something that Japanese manufacturers have absolutely perfected. It's not that they don't care about green tech, they just have a different idea of what that looks like right now. They're playing a totally different game. So if not EVs, what are they driving besides K-cars? Hybrids. Japan is the land of the hybrid, and for good reason. Models like the Toyota Prius are everywhere, and for many Japanese consumers, they're the ultimate practical choice. They offer fantastic fuel economy without any of that range anxiety or reliance on a still-developing charging network. Japanese manufacturers have been perfecting hybrid technology for decades, making them incredibly reliable and efficient. It's seen as the smart, practical bridge technology that works perfectly for their current infrastructure and driving habits. Why fix what isn't broken? Another thing that might surprise you, ride-sharing services like Uber are heavily restricted in Japan. While they exist in some forms, they don't operate anything like they do in most other major cities around the world. Strict regulations heavily favor traditional taxis, which are, to be fair, immaculately clean, incredibly polite, and often quite high-tech. But it means that convenient, on-demand alternative to car ownership or public transport that you find almost everywhere else? Yeah, not so much in Japan. It really removes another option for people to get around without owning their own vehicle. And here's a really interesting social dynamic: younger generations in Japan are increasingly uninterested in car ownership. For them, convenience, sustainability, and digital experiences often take precedence over the freedom of driving. Why bother with the hassle and expense of a car when you have world-class public transport? Your phone provides all the entertainment you need, and you can just hop on a train to meet friends. Car ownership isn't the rite of passage or status symbol it might be in other countries. It's seen as more of a burden, which is a massive shift in generational priorities. This leads right into a broader cultural shift. In many Western countries, a car is often a huge status symbol, a declaration of success or personal style. But in Japan? Not so much. Here, practicality and efficiency almost always take precedence. A car is a tool to get from A to B, especially if you live in a rural area or need it for work. It's not about showing off the latest luxury model if it means dealing with all those ownership costs and parking headaches. This practical mindset really shapes consumer choices and makes their market so unique. So, what happens to all those cars people are getting rid of after a few shaken inspections? This actually fuels an incredibly robust used car market. Because the shaken system incentivizes buying newer and selling older, you get a constant supply of relatively new, well-maintained cars hitting the market. For someone who still wants to own a car but wants to avoid some of the initial depreciation, the used market is fantastic. These aren't clunkers, often, they're immaculate vehicles with lower mileage, just past their prime for a Japanese owner. It's a win-win for everyone involved. And it doesn't stop there. A significant portion of Japan's domestic used car stock finds new homes overseas. Japan is a massive exporter of used vehicles, especially to countries with less stringent inspection laws or where affordability is a bigger factor. So, that perfectly good car that's now too old for Japan's rigorous standards? It gets a second life in another part of the world. It's an incredible cycle, turning a domestic regulation into a global business. The cars Japan doesn't want, the rest of the world often does. It's truly a testament to their engineering and maintenance culture. This whole unique car market has ripple effects far beyond just what's on the road. It influences everything from urban planning and infrastructure development to even smaller local economies. With less car ownership, there's less demand for massive parking structures, more space for green areas or pedestrian zones. It changes how businesses operate, relying more on delivery services or public transport routes for employees. It's not just about transportation, it's a fundamental part of Japan's economic and social fabric, creating a society that moves differently, literally and figuratively, than almost anywhere else. If you think about typical Western markets, the car is still king. Long commutes, suburban sprawl, drive through everything. But Japan's model offers a fascinating alternative. It shows what's possible when you prioritize public transit, strict regulations, and practicality over individual car ownership as a default. It's not necessarily better or worse, but it's fundamentally different. And it forces you to question why our own car cultures developed the way they did. Are we missing out on something by being so car dependent? This unique approach definitely makes you think. Ultimately, Japan's car market is a powerful example of less is more. Less individual car ownership, but more efficient collective transport. Less personal burden, more societal benefit in terms of congestion and emissions. It's a logic that's deeply embedded in their culture, from their minimalist design aesthetics to their highly organized urban spaces. It's not about denying people the option, but rather creating a system where owning a car simply isn't the most logical or convenient choice for the majority. It's a testament to how intelligent policy and cultural values can shape infrastructure. So, to recap, Japan, the land of legendary car brands, has declining car ownership. Most people use an incredible public transport system. Owning a car is super expensive thanks to shaken parking rules and taxes. K-cars are kings, EVs are slow to catch on, and hybrids rule the road. Young people aren't interested, and ride-sharing is a no-go. It's a paradox, really. A country that produces so many amazing vehicles, yet its own citizens often choose not to own them. It completely challenges our preconceived notions of what a developed nation's transportation system should look like. Isn't that absolutely wild? It really makes you think about how different countries approach something as fundamental as personal transportation. Japan's unique market is a masterclass in efficiency, cultural priorities, and smart urban planning. What surprised you the most about Japan's car market? Would you ever consider giving up your car for a system like theirs? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive fascinating, smash the like button and subscribe for more mind-blowing insights into hidden aspects of global culture. See you next time.